Hi everyone, I have gone all YouTubery on you guys. I have purple nail polish, I have this like purpley blue highlighter, and we are going to look at the Natasha Denona Lila palette as you guys requested. How are you guys doing today? This Natasha Denona Lila Mini palette. It retails for $25 in Sephora, and given how much I like her 5-pan palettes, I have high expectations from this one. So if you are interested on my thoughts on this palette, then let's go ahead. You guys might not know this because I think I never shared it. I had been obsessed with her Lila palette and I really didn't think I could afford it, so I never purchased it. But when she came out with the Lila Mini, I was like, yes, I have to grab it, you know, if I can have a miniature version of the palette that I can actually afford. And then I heard someone on YouTube mention that it was only $25. So I rushed to Sephora and I was actually surprised because these are her usual 5-pan palettes, and online this Lila Mini looked pretty similar, but it is actually super mini. Not that I mind it. Actually, I prefer having a smaller palette. If she came out with miniature versions of like these gigantic palettes, I would really like it. Her usual 5-pan palettes retail for $48 and you get a whopping 12.5 grams of product in here because each shadow is 2.5 grams. The Lila Mini costs only $25, but you get only 4 grams of product in here because each shadow is only 0.8 gram, which is not bad considering that on an average, a single eyeshadow pan contains about 1 gram of product. So this is not terribly less, but this is just about half the cost of this, but you get only about a fourth of a product in here. So that is something to consider. And I have to tell you guys that I was a little bit disappointed when I saw the palette in the stores, because when I heard Lila Mini, in my head it was going to be 5 shades from the original Lila palette in a miniature version, and these shades are totally not it. This is actually supposed to be an add-on to the Lila palette. So those who are kind of missing a basic setting shade and some other shades from the original palette, it's in here. Her other palettes are amazing. Like I have 3 of them. This is number 03. This one I have shared with you guys before. This is number 12. And then the next palette I have is number 4. It's a pretty neutral palette. She has revamped her packaging since the holidays. I have the 2 holiday palettes as well. They are kind of in a broken condition. They did send me replacements, but I cannot throw away product. I'm sorry. So that's why I haven't taken them down. If you ever want to see me create looks with them, let me know so in the comments below. And the Lila Mini comes in this new packaging where there isn't like a question of like, oh, is there supposed to be a brush with it? Because that was my first thought when I opened one of her original 5-pan palettes, because it looks like there is a little slot for a brush and her packaging is really generic. I have to say that I have seen this packaging on TKB Trading. You can buy it at a bulk price if you want to make your own shadows. This new revamped packaging, I have to say, it's pretty nice. So let's go ahead and swatch these shadows. So the 5 shadows are Poison Berry, Blue Dahlia, Raisin, Linen, and Flint. So Poison Berry, Blue Dahlia, Raisin, Linen, and Flint. Have I swatched it or not? I did swatch it, but you can't see it. So you do get kind of a good setting shade in here just to set your eyeshadow primer. And this is your color story on top. I have tested this palette before and I was kind of disappointed by the mattes in this palette. But today I thought we should give it another try with a good eyeshadow primer and see how that works out. Because after all, it's a $25 Natasha Denona palette. And I do like Natasha Denona. She is so sweet, so down to earth, according to me. Because when one of her shadows broke on Tati's channel, she contacted her back and apologized. And given what's going on in social media nowadays, it's a little bit refreshing to see a brand just being a person, a genuine person, you know, where they just come and say like, oh my God, that was a mistake, and just try to correct it. So I do like her. I really, really like Natasha Denona. And I actually really, really like her other 5-pan palettes. Anyway, so I just used my usual I Love Stage primer. My brushes, even if they don't look clean, they are clean. I have cleaned them on the color switch. Okay. There is a little bit of kickback in here. It looks darker on the brush, I must say. Let's see. No, on my lids, it's fine. But if you're of a lighter skin tone, I think it's going to be pretty intense on you. As you can already see, it has a pretty cool tone. So just go easy with it. Let's go pretty purple on the crease here. So I'm gonna take this first shadow called Poison Berry and just go above my crease. So I do feel like it's getting a little bit clumpy, you can say, on me. Her shadows are super pigmented, so you need to go lightly in them and then build them up. Just for the sake of testing out, I'm going to try and use all the colors from the palette. I'm taking the shade Raisin and I'm going to pack it on here. These shadows do pack a lot of punch. Right now, I'm not able to tell Poison Berry and Raisin apart. Why? Are they oxidizing? You know what? I'm going to leave swatches of them on my skin and then talk about it towards the end. So there's Raisin on top and Poison Berry in the bottom. I'm going back in Poison Berry and build it up just above my crease. Because I want that purple to stay purple. I'm going to take a little bit of Flint and blend out the edge. Maybe that's not a good idea. It's not. I don't think it's a good idea. Because I think because Flint has that cool tone, it's going to mess with Poison Berry. I'm just gonna build Poison Berry a little bit back up and leave it at that. I don't know what my lipstick is doing. Aha! Look at that. I was thinking that a lipstick was getting goopy. So I'm gonna take Blue Dahlia. It's a purpley blue with greenish blue reflex in it. I have packed it on this BH Cosmetics brush and this shade is indeed really, really pretty. I have no setting spray, nothing on my brush. It's just a dry brush. Then I'm gonna take a pencil brush, pick up Linen, and yep, even this shade is gorgeous. I'm going to pick up Poison Berry and I feel like I want that here. Ooh, that combination. Ooh. That combination just looks amazing. Okay. I don't know what's going on in my crease, but the combination of Poison Berry and Blue Dahlia on my lid is bomb. Picking up Blue Dahlia again, and I'm gonna layer them here. You know what? I'm hating this lip now. Let me take the lip off and wear something else. Alright, after a few trial and errors, I have settled on this e.l.f. lipstick called Orchid and the Fenty Beauty lip gloss. This, I don't know if there's a name for it. This lip gloss. And I have gone ahead and applied some Lash Paradise liner and my usual Elizabeth Arden Grand Entrance mascara on the upper lash line. Let's go on to the lower now. I'm gonna pick up Poison Berry on a pencil brush and I'm gonna just pretty much leave it at that. Picking up Blue Dahlia on the same pencil brush, and usually when I'm doing like an eyeshadow palette review, I don't like to use colored liners for color, you know, because I feel like it's kind of unfair for the viewers because you might not have that same colored liner and you're watching a video for a particular palette. I think I went a little bit crazy on my lower lash line. I'm gonna take a smudger brush, pick up Flint on it and smudge it out. So my Blue Dahlia attempt in the waterline hasn't gone that well. So I'm gonna pick up Flint again and I'm gonna see if I can kind of clean up here. I don't know if you guys can see this, but so annoying. Like there's like a triangle separate and then there is the rest of my eye. I don't see that doing here. I'm gonna try and bridge that gap with Poison Berry in there. Hopefully I can do that. I'm not very successful. I have Flint on my brush and I'm gonna try and blend that out a little bit. I just wipe that off. Applying a little bit of Flint there. Picking up Dahlia again. I don't know why it's doing that. So let's just look at the ingredients. Both the shimmer shadows in this palette have mica. The shadow Linen has mica as the first ingredient, talc is the second ingredient. All other shadows have synthetic fluorographite as the first ingredient. Blue Dahlia, a few ingredients down, does contain mica and talc again. Just looking at the ingredients, I'm not able to figure out why the shadows are doing like this patchy business on me, but it is what it is. Anyways, let's leave it at that. It's much better than how it looked before though, I have to say. So let me just add some mascara on my lower lash lines. So that's the final look. All right, so now we had added these two swatches, before we started doing the look. Halfway through the look, I have added the purple shadow, from number 12 palette right here. Just by looking at the two swatches now, I feel like they look very, very similar to each other. When I first added the Poisonberry shade right next to Blue Dahlia, I felt like the look looked really, really vibrant, but right now, it's been 20 minutes, I feel like it's not as vibrant. So why don't we just swatch all the three shadows again? So Raisin was on top, so that's Raisin, next to Raisin, and Poisonberry. And oh my goodness, can you guys see how much these shadows are oxidizing on my skin? It's ridiculous. Let's add the purple shadow too. So that's the purple from the number 12 palette. So I feel like that has stayed the same, but the top two, like you can see. Yeah. All right, so here are my final thoughts. This is a $25 palette, which is really awesome given that it's a Natasha Denona palette, but drugstore has really stepped up their game recently, and for $25 you can get a lot of palettes in market. Actually, the Emily Edit palette, Wands palette, the whole 25 shadow palette is only $20. Given that I have much higher expectations from the Natasha Denona shadows, even because of my experience with these 5 pan palettes, I had higher expectations from this Lila palette. The shade Blue Dahlia is indeed gorgeous, but if we remove that shade out, it becomes a very kind of average purpley palette with very, very neutral shadows on this side and 2 purpley shadows. Given how they oxidize and how they look so similar after a few minutes, I would not recommend this palette. Okay, I know that these regular 5 pan palettes are double the cost, but I would still recommend them. If you want a purple palette, go with this number 12 palette. I think the purple in this palette is so pretty. If you want to spend $25 for just this one shadow, it's your choice, but if you ask my opinion, I don't think it's worth it. There you go, another one to the failed product list. Overall, I like the look that I have come up with. I'm gonna see if I can dupe this look with some other shadows in my collection. If I am able to do it, I will share it with you guys. Okay, thank you again for watching. Thanks again for joining me. I would really like to thank you guys for all your support, all the kind words that you guys left me on my rant video. They really made me feel like, I'm not a weirdo to feel that way. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.